I'm going to start right now. Okay, 5 things buyer's agents on Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, really anywhere. 5 things that buyer's agents don't want you to know or understand most of the time. I'm not saying every agent, I'm just saying they don't want you to know. I know when you call them up frequently, they don't even want you to know they're not the listing agent, because these online agents say, hey, speak with the agent. You want to talk to an agent, you want to talk to a premier agent or whatever. And the call gets routed to them for, they have to pay significantly. Like sometimes you can get like 20 leads a month for $1,500 from Zillow and places like that. So these agents value your call seriously, and they don't want to just say, hey, by the way, I'm not the listing agent, I can't answer that question. Okay, so these are 5 things they don't want you to know. There's many more, but these are the ones that that I think are important for you to know. Okay, so first of all, let me just say who I am. My name is John McConnin. I'm a California broker and an attorney. I have been a home buyer and a home seller many times as a broker. I've sold over 150 homes, and I've worked with buyers on about 50 of them. So I'm giving you the listing agent perspective frequently, but I've done this myself. I've done it with other people. And I got this information because when my wife and I are looking through the area, she'll, oh, that's a home we don't know about. And she'll use one of these apps, frequently Zillow's, and then call up and say, I got a question for the buyer's agent. For the listing agent, they say, well, how can I help you? And she asks a question, and, I ask questions that I know I can't get from the MLS. So if my wife's talking to me, she's like, oh, that's a good question, let's give him a call. And then, she gets a little charade. It's happened a few times. It's happened to other people. I've had comments, people calling me after seeing previous videos on that. So let's just get right to it. Let's see if I wrote these down. Now, there's going to be time. I just did this fast in the box. I write them in. Okay, so the first thing is, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to try to do a little experiment here. I'm going to go to Zillow.com. I know lately, because I feel that it's because I've been picking on Zillow about this. They're now putting the listing agent information out there right there. Twice now, I've made comments, and within weeks, it's been changed. So I might not have the hugest audience, but I have someone at Zillow watching me. I can almost guarantee that. So let's pick something now. I think they know, hey, this guy's in San Diego. Let's go try Orange County. So I'm going to go Laguna Beach, right? I don't know. I've sold a lot of houses in Orange County in the past, but Huntington particularly, but I don't know that I've ever sold one in Laguna Beach. So I'm going to just pick randomly the first one we saw. I promise you I did not type this in before. And it looks again like Zillow is putting the listing agent up there prominently and saying, hey, contact these agents. This is really nice. This is the box that used to be right up there. Oh, I'll bet they're... Okay, let's see how cool Zillow really is. Are you interested in doing this with me? I am going to log in with a different browser. Let's see if... I'm really interested in this. Why is it taking me so long to come up with an Explorer browser? It must be my... Okay, so I'm going to keep going while I can't figure out what's going on here. I don't know why it didn't show up. Let me back out of this. Let me go... Mozilla Firefox. Let's see if we can do that. Mozilla Firefox. In the meantime, I'm going to go to the second question. So, these agents, if you're calling the listing agent, hopefully, as I said, let's click on this one. Now I believe it's my computer that's slowing stuff down. Look, I can't even see what I'm doing because Mozilla Firefox just came up on the wrong screen. You know what? Sometimes doing a live video is not as cracked up as be. I can pull this one over now. So I'm going to pull up Zillow over here. And I'm going to cut it over so you can see exactly what I'm looking at. I'm going to type it in, Zillow.com. And I don't know why they're doing that to me. Zillow. Okay, so now let's go to Laguna Beach. Oh, you know what? Let's go to new private window, and we'll go Zillow.com. We'll go Laguna Beach. No, let's pick. I'm gonna pick. I don't know. It just came to my head. Let's pick Denver, Colorado. I was thinking about skiing, the opposite of living in California. So we're gonna go for sale. No, I want to buy. Yeah, for sale. Okay. Zillow hasn't given me the screen in a while, so I believe maybe it was customized. So now, looking at Denver, let's go. I want to just go 500,000 to 700,000. We'll pick the first one that pops up. Okay, so it's 500. Now let's see. Okay, got it. So I was blocked. I wonder why. Okay, so here we go. Now, for sale, let's see if this is for a listing agent. HomeSmart. So Zillow is now being more responsive. This is great, actually, because instead of working with these buyer's agents, you can get your questions answered specifically by the listing agent, and I think that's a much better business model. Before they were saying, have your questions answered by an agent or whatever they were doing, and people like my wife got confused about whether they were speaking with listing agents. Now you can go to the listing agent. Let's see how Realtor.com's doing, and then we'll move on with this video because they've made literally. I've had videos on this in the last few weeks. I'm just putting this together as part of a series, and I mentioned these things. So we got Realtor.com. Let's just go. I don't know. Let's go Encinitas. I used to live in Carlsbad. Encinitas. CA, and we're going to go down the list. We're going to try to see if maybe the top ones pop up because they're Zillow agents, and then they're not. And then we'll get on with the 5 things you should know. So I would like to see this house right now. More about this property. All right, so I think the listing agents they're probably paying Zillow to pop up in the top box because now I have no idea who's going to answer this question. Is this going to be a listing agent? Is this going to be a lead for their buyer's agents? And it's a totally different format. It's better format. But, okay, so this is Realtor.com, that's why. Okay, so I spaced, but here's the point. The listing, it's presented by Wendy Denny. So she's the one I would want to be asking questions for. So she probably knows what she's talking about with respect to this home, whether she's sold. So I'd want to know from her if she sold a lot of properties in this area, in addition to the other questions I've spoken with in previous videos. So now let's get to the point. You want to find the listing agent and get your questions answered. Because the buyer's agents, if you're working with a buyer's agent, you want to work with them specifically for the area that they've sold 5, 10, or 15 homes. You want to talk to them about that. I know this because when I went to Florida to be a real estate investor, we met an agent. She knew her area well, but then we wound up buying somewhere else, and she put us about a mile or two from where we would have really wanted to be because of the schools, and it was almost the same price. And she didn't talk us into buying a house, the right house. I mean, she should have known. Well, a good agent would have known for that area. She was a good agent somewhere else. So I'd say the first thing a buyer's agents don't want you to know is that they're paying for these leads, and they're not necessarily going to tell you that, boy, I've never bought or sold a home, bought or sold a house there. We're just going to show you around, and maybe we'll figure it out. So that's the first thing. Let's see, and I scribbled these in there. So let me come back to me now, since we don't need to keep seeing that. Okay, you can see like these little boxes I have. I can't see everything. And so let's see what this one was. I'm going to take it out myself. They probably don't know. They probably don't have a ton of experience selling homes. Here's why. It costs a lot of money to get leads from Realtor.com. It costs a lot of money to get leads from Zillow. Even if they're your own listings, you've got to pay them money to be prominently featured. You'll still show up, but if you want to be prominently featured, if you want your home to pop up near the top, and we still have to go back and do that test on Zillow in the future. I'm going to do that in the meantime while I'm talking. So, these leads cost a lot of money, and newer agents probably don't know. Well, they may or may not have the experience to fund these projects and these leads, and I know this for a fact, trying to convert enough leads after you're spending $5,000 or $10,000 a month, or even $3,000 a month on leads, trying to convert enough leads into making money is not easy. It's generally going to the agents with experience and teams. So overall, when the agents get the experience, they want to put teams. The teams turn over a lot. So the agent you're talking to might not have a whole lot of experience in that area, might not have a whole lot of experience, period. Now, let's see this. It may be better. They don't want to tell you that if there's multiple offers coming in, that let's pick Denver again, and I'm going to go down the list. No, we'll pick. Let's pick another town. Let's pick I don't know, Las Vegas. And we're going to go down the list to right here. Let's see if this pops up listing agent again. Listing agent. All right. So at the moment, if you're seeing listing agent here, that's a good thing. That's a person you should probably be dealing with in the beginning till you determine that it's okay for you to work with a buyer's agent, because the listing agent doesn't have multiple offers in, because the listing agent is not already working with buyers. Because we went over this in the other videos, but the point is you'll have a chance, and if you feel more comfortable working with a buyer's agent, or you're able to share the referral fee with a buyer's agent, you can go in and do that. But first, you have to ask those 3 questions that we've seen in the other videos. One, to develop the rapport, and 2, see if you're up against other buyers. So let's see what we have. They are not free. Okay, so here's another thing that buyer's agents don't. I'm going to close out of that other browser. Buyer's agents don't tell you that they are not free. Yes, their commissions in the past, up until this point in time, are being paid by the listing agent almost every time, unless you work out something else with them, like with a FSBO, you could pay an agent to represent you. If you go into a listing agent directly, you may pay, as I've been paid by agents as an attorney or a real estate agent. They pay me because they want to go through the listing agent and buy the home. Especially higher end people do that a lot in a competitive market. And they pay a few $1,000s to have an agent look at it. But most of the time, if you're working with a buyer's agent, you're like, you might as well work with me because the selling agent pays me. Well, not true. Because there's so much information out there now. Because you can figure out, you can go directly to the listing agent. You can do the pricing information. You can call the listing agent directly and talk to them about sharing the commission with you. Now, most of them are probably going to say no. But, like, let's say you call an entrepreneurial agent up, or me, you could say, hey, look, I've already located the properties I want, or I've narrowed it down to 5. I want to work with the listing agents directly so I get the home. But can we preserve the buyer's agent's fee and then split it? So we could be looking at, let's say the fee is 2.5% on $1 million home. That's $25,000. Now, you can talk to me and you can share that fee, have me oversee the file, and still working with the listing agent directly. Now, if he's already got other offers in there, and you think it'd be to your advantage to share some or all of that fee with the listing agent, that's something you should determine. And then you may not want to work with me, or you may want to work with me or some other agent to oversee the file. So they are, because that money's on the table if you do it right. That 2.5% or 3% typically of the listing price is not free to you. You're giving up your right to negotiate for that piece. So they are not free. Now, in competitive markets, I got to read this whole thing. In competitive markets, well, I just said that. In competitive markets, you don't want to talk to a buyer's agent until you've assessed the situation. Part of this video series, if you go to winnerstrike.com buyer, I give you the questions that you need to ask a listing agent before you decide whether you're going to work with a listing agent or a buyer's agent. I just don't think it's in your interest to make a blanket assessment ahead of time that you're going to work with a buyer's agent in a market where 2/3 of the properties in March, according to the California Association of Realtors Market Pulse report, received multiple offers. I mean, how can it be in your interest to work with a buyer's agent for sure ahead of time? Are there good things about working with a buyer's agent? Yes. It's nice to know they're working for you. They can give you information that maybe a listing agent doesn't have if they're experienced in the area. But again, buyer's agents should talk to you about that. Maybe they should be limiting their expertise to a geographical area where you're buying, and if you go to another town, they refer you over. I got one more, but I don't think that this might have been from a previous video. Oh, yeah. Well, no, that was for the previous video. That's if you should call the listing agent and say, would you work with me exclusively for a period of time if I make an offer, because I don't want to be having you help other buyers get the property? That's another question that you cannot ask of the buyer's agent, because there may be other offers going to the listing agent, but you might be able to lock down that listing agent for a period of time, 24, 36, maybe 48 hours, maybe until your offer is rejected or accepted. If you can get the listing agent to agree, because they're probably gonna have to get cleared by the seller, but you could get a chance to get an into a situation with the seller where you've got a great chance to win. You can't really do that with a buyer's agent necessarily. And I suppose you could, actually, when I think about it. But the listing agent's probably more inclined to tell their client, no, this really compromises your position, because if you can't negotiate, why would you want to agree to not negotiate with someone else? That takes away your leverage. That's the situation. Now let's go to Winners Check. If you want to opt into this series, if you're seeing this on the internet and you want to opt into this series, you can go to winnerscheck.com buyer. It's not there now, but let's say you've already seen this series and you're like, I want a program where I have the best chance to buy this home and save money and maybe learn how to negotiate price by pre-negotiating the offer. And as we see in the next video, I'm going to explain why solar homes can frequently be underpriced by 5 or 10%. Now it's going to be a longer video because first I have to show you, and then I want to prove it in two ways. I've got the solar home Delta, which you can do back of the hand. There's the approximate one that I talk about, and the one I've created, and then you can also see through. There are websites that actually talk about the savings you'll receive over 10 or 15 year period, and it's frequently 8 to 10% of the home. So we're going to talk about in the next video. If you really want to double up on your savings, either through, let's call it triple up, you could negotiate a better price by pre-negotiating with the listing agent. You could save the buyer's agent's commission of frequently 2.5 to 3%, or some of it, and you could get a home that's worth 5 or 10% more than the listing price, or more than the same home or similar homes that don't have solar panels on them if the solar panels are paid for free and clear. You've got an opportunity to really swing, say, 5 to 10% in value conservatively if you're looking at solar homes. We're going to talk about that in the next video, and then some of the bonus training I'm going to offer related to solar home buying. So I think you want to go to winnerscheck.com buyer's course and opt in for the free videos. If you've seen any of my videos up to this point, I really have been offering value. I've been putting my information out there. I think I'm going to start. I kind of enjoy this, and I realize as I'm talking about this, there's so many variables that I think I'm going to start a Q&A for people too, so you can just call up. But opt into that winnerscheck.com buyer course. All right, thanks, John McConnin. I hope you enjoyed that video.